All right, I think we're ready. Welcome to It's Erik Nagel, and that is me, the show, and everything else. 866-969-1969 is the phone number to get in touch with us. And who is us, you may ask? Good question, because us is me and my co-host, Matt O.G.
Hello.
Did not try to rhyme and be clever there. It just worked out that way.
Start calling you Dr. Seuss.
Geek Stuff OG on Twitter and Instagram. I am E-Rock Radio on Twitter and Instagram. And, of course, my buddy Gittles.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
How are you
doing? Pretty good. Sounds like I'm in a tunnel right now, but it's kind of working.
Why? What's wrong?
I don't know. It's a very hollow sound. It might just be my head.
Yeah, it could be. Well, you had a pretty eventful weekend.
I did.
You won your... no, you came in second.
Second place in the
in your
Brooklyn
taco takedown.
I got more frying pans I know what to do with now. So, I don't know what I'm going to do. In case someone breaks in, I can have like a 1920s caper chasing him around the house with frying pans.
Right. For those who don't know, every time we end a show and we go through the plugs and what have you, Brian's doing some kind of food competition.
Yes.
They're usually a takedown. I don't know why food is so violent, but it is, and he competes in all these things. Usually he wins, but this time he came in second. What are some of the cool things that you've actually won from these events?
Lots of frying pans, more Wusthof knives than I know what to do with, which is kind of nice. They're very sharp, and I've found that out the hard way numerous times. I got an immersion blender this time, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
And just, that's pretty much it. It's just kitchen stuff. I got a 14-cup Cuisinart, what's it called? Food processor.
Do you have any furniture in your place, or is it just stocked up with culinary
stuff? It's just
stuff?
all kitchen stuff everywhere.
He just sits in frying pans around the place. Buys nice
Wears
little round
snowshoes.
Yeah.
Like he's an explorer.
Well, it's funny because my two roommates, they don't cook, but one of them works for Bryan, so our fridge is just filled with pickles. So it looks like an 1890s prospector lives in our house. It's just like we're preparing for a winter.
Well, to be fair, you do live in Brooklyn.
I do.
Are you going to bring in some pickles?
do
I'll
that.
bring in pickles.
Right.
I'll bring in pickles next week.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
I do.
There you go.
Very true.
That voice that you heard there is one of our special guests today. The return of Bryan Johnson to the show.
Did I ruin the surprise by throwing out my 1890s prospector joke too soon?
No, because I didn't have the mic on, so no one heard it.
Okay.
But now it's on now.
People will never know what they missed.
Bryan Johnson's back. Of course, you know him from Comic Book Men on AMC, and of course, the very popular podcast, Tell 'em Steve Dave.
I'm looking at we're supposed to have, okay. This other special guest is here. He's wondering what studio we're in.
Okay, can you go and grab him?
You would think they would just tell him at the desk.
No,
right?
we specifically told them not to.
Right.
Because otherwise you'd have publicists and other guests just walking in while we're doing the show when we're not ready to set it up and do what have you. They have to keep everybody at bay on the front.
Even superstar guests.
Yes.
Like we're expecting any moment now.
Well, let's just give it away. It's Bryan Quinn.
Oh, my God. I can't believe it.
My goodness.
And there he is walking in
There he
with
is.
Roland. So great to have him on the show. He wasn't here. He was supposed to come last time, but then he had some TV scheduling, so he didn't get a chance to do so.
He was, he's always got something going on.
Hi, Bryan.
This guy, Bryan Quinn.
We're trying to find a mic for you, so just hang out for a second. Can we put him over there?
That's what happens when you're
Do
late.
it? All right, let's try.
Yeah. I'm from New Jersey. I got here on time. You're 3 blocks away.
Yeah, let's put her.
Basically unemployed.
Brian,
do
try
you
going
basically?
over there and see if we can get that one working there for you.
All right, hi.
Hey there.
Bryan Quinn, also from the popular podcast Tell 'em Steve Dave, but also Impractical Jokers.
Yes.
On True TV.
Hey, everybody.
That's not it. Let's try that one.
You didn't know how to work the studio, right, Eric?
Well, look. I thought so too, and I got to give Ope a lot of credit because when he's complaining about it, like this isn't matching up to over there, now I know what he's talking about.
Fair enough.
They're not working?
Ugh.
Oh, Roland just broke a mic stand.
Nice.
All right, Bryan.
It's Erik Nagel, the semi-professional radio show here on the SiriusXM platform.
Bryan, give us a couple minutes and then we'll work you in here. I apologize. Gonna have to
Off to a great start, Eric.
no. I don't know how that. We have this little mission control thing here in the back.
Is that like that?
I don't know. Try either one of those.
Hello, how's that?
Oh, there he is. There he is. Hi,
Look at
Bryan.
that.
Sweet.
There we go. Problem solved.
Figured that'd be the one. It's got the windscreen on it.
All right.
All right, I
feel
think
so
we're good.
far away from you.
Everybody take in a deep breath. Let's reset.
All right.
Bryan Quinn from Tell 'em Steve Dave and Impractical Jokers is joining us here on the program. And there's a lot going on today. There's stuff to give away. There's things to talk about. There's food here.
I'm always excited
How often
for
does
food.
that happen?
Not
That
often
is a big
enough.
treat. We have. I'm trying to figure out how to present this here. It's Mike Pastore is joining us here. The food is from Mark. Sorry, my God, Mark Pastore is here. I apologize. Where is the food that you brought from today?
It's sitting right behind me.
Where's it from?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant where was it in the room you wanted to get at it. It's from Schnipper Brothers. Schnipper Fine Foods in New York City they have 4 locations, and they do some great burgers. They do fries. They do hot dogs. They're a fast casual concept. John and Andrew Schnipper, the great guys. They were the originators of Hale and Hearty Soup. Small soup chain you may have heard of that they created. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's done some business.
It has. It's gone downhill. It's like after, it's the replicator who took it and, moved on. They probably sold to a guy like Campbell's or something. It hasn't really kept up the quality as what it is. But these guys decided after the chunks of change that they got from them, they wanted to go back in the burger business. They came into our place. We met them. Great guys. They look like something you'd see out of like Grimm fairy tales. They're short ones, bald ones, got hair. They're great guys, but they're like you could stack them on top of each other. And they make a great product. Yeah, they are. They're quite animated.
We go down to the one that's across from Port Authority.
Right.
Right in is it the New York Times building?
41st and 8th.
Right, yeah.
New York
Great
Times
mac and
building,
cheese.
great. They have great mac and cheese, great dogs, great burgers. There's a lot of people out there doing it like Shake Shack and everybody like that. But,
Right.
I mean, these guys really do a good job with it.
Well, it looks great. I mean, I can't eat some. I could eat some of this right now, but that wouldn't be too professional. Maybe I'll work that in a few moments while we're talking. I'm going to take bites in between conversations here. So you're Pat's cousin.
Pat is my cousin.
Pat LaFrida, for people who wouldn't know, he's like the only celebrity butcher that I know of.
He is.
He sells meats to the stars.
We've made lamb chops and burgers sexy.
Right.
And we do it coast to coast now. We even ship into the Middle East and Europe. But we have our.
You're all based out of here?
We're based out of North Bergen, New Jersey, because we were in Manhattan originally since 1922. But we outgrew that 6,000 square foot facility real fast.
Right.
So now we're in a real large facility out in New Jersey, and we can hit all over the country. We do, Miami. We do Chicago. We do out to the West Coast. We do a big job in Vegas with Steve Wynn. We do Washington, D.C., Philly, and New York, of course, is our playground.
You do it right at the hotel?
We ship Wynn Hotel. Yeah.
Oh, you
we
ship
do
out
Wynn
there.
and Encore.
I was hoping you had a place because I'm like, now I'm staying at the Wynn if I go to Vegas.
When you want to go out there, you let me know. I'll get you hooked up with the right people.
But you also have these little pop-up things. I think at Yankee Stadium I saw
City
some
Field,
stuff, right? Oh, City Field,
right?
Okay.
We're gonna hit the check button on that.
difference.
That's City Field. Yeah. The Wilpons will love that. But we that
filet
stadium,
mignon sandwiches.
correct. Filet mignon steak
That
sandwich.
sounds amazing.
With the Chop House there, you guys are more than welcome to come out to the stadium anytime you want. I don't know who's a Mets fan.
Can we go to eat and not watch the game? Can we do that?
This year
Everyone's
they
shaking
actually
yes,
had a
all right.
team. Yes, you guys can come eat.
No,
You
I
go
don't
to
care
the
if the team was
steakhouse.
doing good. I'm not into baseball anymore. I just want to go try some nice food.
You come out to the Chop House.
Do you feel like he's wasted? He has a very deep, radio voice. He sounds like Jim Florentine almost.
A little bit.
Like, you shouldn't be
Not as
selling
cranky.
meat.
I get that a lot.
Yeah.
I get that a lot with
Do
my
you have
voice.
giant balls as well?
Giant balls. Yeah.
Can you say the following words? Beautiful and nice.
Beautiful and nice.
There you go. But nice, he nailed it.
Yeah, he did nail it.
But we have a lot of fun doing what we do, and we do about 2,000 restaurants in New York City. And you're right, we are like the only celebrity butchers. Pat is like the front guy. I mean, he's my cousin. He makes it all happen, and I'm there during the day.
Who are some of the main the bigger name restaurants that people would know? Because everybody who's anybody in the restaurant business deals with Pat as far as getting their meat selection.
Correct. I always say if it's a great restaurant in New York City, you're going to see a LaFrida box in the kitchen.
Right.
But I mean, we do all up and down the spectrum from high to low. I mean, we do, sexy steakhouses like Strip House and Minetta Tavern. We do the classics like Porterhouse and Luger's. We do the little guys. We do a lot of the big guys. We do a lot of the hotels. We do Shake Shack. We do Schnippers. We do the Spotted Pig in Breslin. We do classic French joints like Le Ravage in Midtown. And we do, we're all over the place. We do, little mom and pop joints, and then we do the largest places too.
Right.
Like Michael White, Carmelini,
Have you tried? Gittles does a lot of cooking and culinary events and things like that. Have you tried any of these places?
I don't really go out to eat that much, Eric. I cook a lot at home.
Well, you need to get your meats from Pat LaFrida.
I know I do. Like last one I picked up was from Western Beef because I just had a cook-off to do.
Right.
But I don't really know where it was sourced from. I'm not good with that, Eric.
Well, now you know.
Now I
that
know.
your connection is to go to Pat LaFrida.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Also, I wanted to talk to you. I was hoping Pat was going to make it, but he had some other stuff pop up
did.
here. I wanted to talk to him about his book. Simple title, Meat.
It is.
Gets right to the point, and this is what the book is about.
We deliberated for, months over that title, and we decided, just let's keep it simple. And we did. And, it's got a lot of family stories. It's got recipes. It's got, cookbook, tips on how to cook and process. And, of course, it's got a whole dictionary on meat. It's very, very informative on cuts of meat, how to do things, and how to prepare a steakhouse-style steak in your kitchen.
One of the, you said the recipes, but one of the recipes I saw in there was the 4-meat meatloaf. I'm like, wow, well, you can't get better than that.
No.
I'm gonna try that out this summer.
What's the fourth meat?
I don't know. It's the mystery.
It would be beef, lamb, veal, and
Humans.
there you go. Soylent Green.
Soylent Green.
Mm-hmm. Nah, it'd be pork. The other white meat.
So good. It's summertime. People are going to be grilling and stuff like that. And everyone thinks that it's just so easy to grill. They can throw hamburgers and hot dogs down there. But when you try to spice it up a little bit, if you're going to try to do something fancy with like ribs or wings and things like that, all of a sudden you realize you can't just throw it on the grill thinking, everything cooks really easy. There's techniques, you got to learn recipes, things like that. What are some of the things that people do when they're grilling during the summer that are pretty much huge no-nos, but everyone just does it anyway?
We're very big into, hamburgers and hot dogs are easy. Everybody loves them, especially for the holidays and, for Memorial Day and a lot of those summer holidays. We're big into skirt steaks, which are a great item. I mean, Romanian steaks, whatever you want to call them. You can find them at your local butcher. You can find them in a store. Strip steaks, great on the grill. You always want to try to get bone in if you can because it cooks better with the bone. And it is, the meat is sweeter around the bone, as they say. And
I do like when you go to like Morton's that they do the filet mignon on the bone.
They do.
So good.
Yeah.
It's a gimmick now because, filet is an unused muscle in the animal. And it's a big misconception that people think because the fillet is tender, it's a better steak, and it's wrong because the fillet has no flavor and it's an unused muscle in the animal, which would basically be my whole body. But it's an easy steak to prepare because it comes out tender. People love it who are into fitness because it's a lean steak. It's not heavy. It's not fatty. So it's basically the best steak you can eat, and it's tender, and it's usually expensive. But steak eaters are going to go for the ribeye, the rib steak. They're going to go for so they created this bone-in fillet, which became more expensive but more popular. And they had to ruin other cuts of meat to basically make that, and it's get a little confusing, but people love it, and people who now eat fillets are like, wow, this is like a man's fillet because it's got a bone in it and everything.
Well, wait a minute. When was a fillet not a man's fillet?
That's a chick steak.
Really?
Yeah. Fillet is either you get something at a wedding or you get
dainty.
Yeah, you get.
I always got filet mignon. I didn't realize
I had no
that it
idea
was.
there was sexism in the meat world.
I know.
It's the meat world.
Eating a chick
Sort of
steak.
meat market.
Look at them.
We're going down the rabbit hole here, Bryan.
I used to sit down with a certain restaurateur in the city, and he used to always say when we were at the table, he'd be like, well, what's the girl going to eat? What's chicken? She's not going to order a 40-ounce ribeye.
Right.
She's not going to eat a 20-ounce bone-in strip. So they'd always put an 8-ounce or a 10-ounce fillet on the menu. And then hence in the meat world, it'd start to get known as, the chick steak. And we would call it that going back and forth. But most people will eat a fillet because it's tender, and they do think it's the best.
Right.
And it's always consistently tender.
So the bone-in fillet, then, is it actually legitimately better? Or is it kind of a gimmick behind?
Gimmick. You're paying more money and you're getting bone. You're not getting any more meat. You're getting bone. But it's cooler. I mean, you're cutting around it. It's more work. So,
So it's really doing nothing for the flavor?
No, nothing really. Filet doesn't really have much flavor. That's why it's usually served with a sauce. Or it's encrusted with something. If you want flavor, you go to a skirt steak, you go to a ribeye, you go to a hanger steak,
Right.
You go to a flat iron, you can go to so many different cuts of meat. And, like a strip is also the next best thing in terms of, leanness and, what's good for you in terms of it's not usually served in a large portion, but it's a leaner steak and it's better. And then you go to rib steaks, which are very heavy, very fatty, prime rib or anything like that.
What are some of your favorite things to do for the summer here that if people pick up this book, they could go to and start doing on their own?
Aside from looking down on peasants who eat hot dogs and hamburgers.
Hot dogs and hamburgers, not even hamburgers anymore. We make a hot dog, which is exclusive to us, what people go crazy for, which is out like in Citi Field. We do the U.S. Open, the Masters. We do a couple of small sporting events. And what happens is, I love the simplicity. I'll take that mac and cheese any day because I eat out almost every night.
Right.
I'm always in 3- and 4-star restaurants. And I've had enough of it. It's like work to me, but I'll take the mac and cheese. I'll take anything that's simple. So the hamburgers and hot dogs always get me. But I mean, I head out, to the Hamptons a lot. I have a lot of friends out there. I make a great house guest. Or I'm like, during here, if I stay in the city on the weekends, I'm out, or I'm out with my friends, or my cousin Patty has a country house out west and out by the Delaware Water Gap, because we're big hunters and we fish and we do all that kind of stuff too. So we do hamburgers and hot dogs because it's easy, or we do sausage. We love hot and sweet sausage, stuff like that. But anything is easy. I tell people the same thing all the time. If they're going to take meat and they're going to grill it, just give it a little TLC.
Right.
Let it rest at the end. Just careful. Don't overcook it. Don't hit it with too hard, hot or hard of a flame.
All right, let me ask you about that then, because this was something I only learned like a year ago, was that you don't actually cook it to where you want it. You cook
Correct.
it just before it.
Correct.
And then when you take it off, it's still cooking on its own.
That is correct, because it is going to continue to cook for a few minutes after you take it off the grill. That's why chefs will call that period a rest period, where they take the steak off the grill, because it's coming. You got to remember, it goes from cold, unless the chef is going to let it come up to room temperature, which is hard to do if the health department walks in.
Right.
That'd be cold or hot for them. So if they let it, it goes from cold to hot back to room temperature again. It starts to bleed out, and if you cut right into it, all the juice or the blood is going to come out of that steak.
So is the hot plate a gimmick like they do at Ruth Chris?
100%.
So when it comes out sizzling, it's all presentation. It's
all
really doing nothing.
They usually just heat up
I'm going
the plate.
to the wrong places.
Yeah. You don't ever, if you're going to really want a good steak, especially in New York City, you're spoiled.
Right.
You don't want to go to a chain restaurant. You want to go to the individual holders, like the porterhouses, the Minetta Taverns, the strip houses. I mean, Bowery Meat Company just opened downtown. Josh,
what about Tad Steaks?
Yeah, I would stay away from there. I mean,
It's like
if I
leather.
had certain guests, I would bring it. It's funny because I used to go there when I was a kid and think it was the greatest thing in the world, eating these huge chuck steaks that would come out with like the Bugs Bunny sized bone in the middle of it, like the ham steak, like something like that. And then I realized later on in life, when I got into the business, it was like, man, that's the cheapest piece of what in the world that you got.
I guess the equivalent would be like Michael Scott from The Office when he says every time he goes to New York, he goes to his favorite authentic pizza place and he's standing at Sbarro's.
Right.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's about as authentic as like Italian as like, chicken Parmesan.
Right.
So, but it's where you want to go, where you're treated well, where you like. I mean, a lot of people like to go where their own village or their own neighborhood. I'm a creature of habit. I go to a lot of places, but like Bowery Meat Company, if you want a great steak, go downtown. Josh Capon, he's wild. He's got lore. He's got Burger and Barrel. He has like 4 or 5 restaurants. They're great hangouts. They're great food. But he's doing a really good job. He does the tomahawk steak, which is like that big 38, 40-ounce rib steak with the really 9-10-inch bone, right? And when that comes out in the room, people are like, wow, what is that? I want that. And then they get the $150 bill for the steak, and they understand. So there's the Bowery steak. Oh no, that's actually a pinwheel you're looking at. The skirt steak
pinwheels.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was just showing Matt.
That's my cousin's creation. Yeah, Pat gets very creative with cuts of meat. Like we created one called the Bowery steak downtown, which is basically we took the ribeye cap, which is the most fatty piece in the ribeye, pulled it off. He rolls it up, he seasons it, and then he slices it like that, like a pinwheel, and it comes out and it's awesome.
I gotta say,
are you going to make those the next time I'm at your house? Because if not, I'm leaving.
Eric, you get a permanent meat pass too. So I'm going to leave you my card. You just email me or text me. We'll send stuff to the studio, to the house.
You know what? Screw this show and everything that I've worked to achieve. The meat pass has just made my life.
Yeah. That's it. That's like the gold card with us.
There's a portion in the book here that I just saw, and I understand it's educational and it's really showing if you really want to take this seriously as far as cooking with meat and grilling and all this stuff. But if you just happened to pick this book up in the store and you opened up to that,
that's fantastic.
That's pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome, but it's also a little creepy at the same time. It's the pig without
it's the side
anything.
view, right? And that is probably one of the first visions, or that is one of the first pictures that we do that we've seen or done in a cookbook like that. Most people will give you like an animated version of it or a map version of it. It's like almost hitting like the satellite button on Google Maps, and like now it looks real to you. There's trees and stuff. So there's organs and stuff. Yeah. I mean, that's what it is. But people are really, I can't tell you how many. We just did a book signing in Italy not too long ago, and all these girls are coming up skinny like model types. They're so into meat now. And they're looking at the cuts and the steaks.
I think they've kind of always been into meat.
How could you invite me here? I mean, I'm passing up 99% of my meat-centric jokes.
Just lay them out if you got them. I go into steakhouses now and I see a couple girls and they're like eating it like a 40-ounce steak, and I'm like, no, that's impressive.
Yeah.
I never used to see that in the old days, and it's just now they're going after it. And I'm like, wow, everything is changing. You know, people are so interested in steaks, and now that doctors are starting to tell us, hey guys, it isn't it's not cholesterol from animal fats, it's trans fats, it's saturated fats, it's sugar that's killing, and all this other stuff that's making your heart go into all kinds of problems. It's like people are starting to get back into the world of eating red meat again. Our numbers keep growing every year.
Right. I'm just hungry. I'm sorry. I'm looking through this whole book, and I'm thinking of all these things that I need to try.
Well, that hot dog right there. That hot dog is delicious. Yeah. I polished mine off.
We have the best dogs in the business. We do an all beef natural casing hot dog, and everyone who eats our hot dog, from people in LA down to the White House where we ship them, people say this is the best hot dog I've ever eaten. Why?
Yeah, it's delicious.
Do you follow that policy? I know the old gag was that, hot dogs have a certain legal amount of hair and feces or something that go into the process.
Originally, everybody used to say lips and
how much
something else.
Are in your hot dog?
Right. Anything that fell on the floor during production, no. Ours are all whole muscle.
Blow it off, kiss it to God, and pack it up.
There are hot dogs for selling and then hot dogs for eating. Ours are hot dogs for eating.
Nice.
The 3-second rule applies when putting together a hot dog.
Right.
Look.
What was
I want to eat that thing right now.
What was Pat LaFrida doing? What's he busy doing that he couldn't come today? He's got some sort of meat.
He actually
he's a very busy guy.
He is busy, but we're always doing things that are work related. He actually has a family, so he tries to spend some time with them every once in a while. And he got stuck doing something with his family. I do not. I'm single. And my mouth gets me in a lot of trouble. I am. I'm married into my business, but
married to dead animals.
Yeah, well, you could call a couple of them dead animals. But no, I have a issue with commitment, but that's a whole other show.
That's entirely
we're getting into that another time.
Path.
That's a dark path with me, but
that's how you sell a different kind of
meat. No, I'm married to my business and I love doing what I do, and Pat is too, but he's got 2 kids and a wife, and it's rough because it's he'll work as much as he can until he realizes, hey, I gotta get home.
I just picture him at home at night now with the picture of that pig up above his bed on the ceiling.
Right.
Just it's a terrible vision. I apologize.
No, it's not that bad.
This book you should definitely go out and get. Meet Everything You Need to Know, America's Most Celebrated Butcher, Pat LaFrida. We've been calling him the King of Meat. We didn't know what his official title was.
King, Emperor, Sultan of Steak. I mean, he goes by a lot of different things.
Sultan of Steak.
Yeah. But he gets a lot of that, and we get a lot of press. And we have a great brand. We created a great brand. People know it. People see it. It's very recognizable. And we're very proud of what we do. Family owned and operated. Since the beginning, we don't sell out, and we have a lot of fun with what we do, which I think is a lot of fun.
Where would they go if they want to order stuff?
You can go online to lafrida.com if you want to get stuff at home. You could go to Eataly in Manhattan, which is a great store.
I have yet to go down there, but Roland frequents down there, and I've heard a lot of other people too talk about how great Eataly is. Great store. We're on Fresh Direct. We do all burgers for them, especially for people who want to get them down at the Jersey Shore and out east in the Hamptons. They're great partners of ours. Or you could bump into me in the street and meet me as some certain type of clever, and then you get my card, and bam, you get free deliveries to the house. He's out there with a trench coat, on the side there. Just
glasses.
What you want? What you want?
You want to buy a burger?
He's got hot links.
Yeah. He just carries around a cooler with him all day long, just different cuts of meat.
Looking at chicks, but not seeing women, seing that dead pig in front of them.
Or telling them they should eat fillets.
You're going to be my dead animal.
Like the guy had a Top Secret, but all burgers in front of me I'm holding.
I wanted to buy his. He just wouldn't look me in the eyes.
He's secretly planning the 5-meat meatloaf.
Twitter, anything on that? Twitter, Instagram?
Twitter is Pat LaFrida.
So you're the kind of people that should be tweeting their food.
We do. It's Instagram is Pat LaFrida and Twitter is Pat LaFrida as well.
Right.
And we're on Facebook and everything like that. But we do a lot of pictures of our food. We do, a lot of our events. We do New York Food and Wine. We do South Beach Food and Wine. We do a lot of the big events that, any food, based event that goes on pretty much in New York City, we're always involved. We do a lot of charity events like Food Bank and, Always Hungry and places like that. We get pulled into a lot of things and we try to do as much as we can.
Personal question for me as far as with chopped meat and things like that. Is it true that you really when you're seasoning and making meatballs or hamburgers or anything stuff like that, you're losing the fat content just from handling it in the bowl and things like that. Are you supposed to add back into it?
You're not going to handle your meat that long. I mean, I would hope that it's really going to have that type of an effect on it. Were we down that road again? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's false. I mean, you'd have to be rolling those balls all day long to. There we are again. No, I didn't mean it like that. When you're handling chopped meat, it's true, it does have a fat content, but we're using whole muscle as well, and all of our products do. And we try to go a little fattier, and because we keep that, that. We call that like the idiot-proof scenario of people overcooking, people, doing something that they shouldn't. So instead of like a 75-25, we do like a 70-30. So you're forgiven with that.
You can't can you buy the 75-30 in the stores? Because all I see is like 80-20.
I was going to say, I see
I've only
mostly
seen
80-20.
Yeah. Unless you make the blend yourself.
But I see that at ShopRite, and you got to go someplace good. You got to go to a butcher.
I'm going to have to go on the deep web, the Silk Road, and get me that high-fat content meat.
Get Alex Winter to take you over there.
We will have to do that. Anything else that we didn't cover here?
I think that's pretty much it. Meat, the book.
Right.
The company.
Handling your balls.
Yeah.
All right. Rolling them around.
And you guys, Schnippers.
Which
Schnippers
is definitely great.
Great representation. Yeah, there's 4 locations. I think there's a 5th one coming soon. Great product, great dogs, great burgers.
Are they all New York?
They're all in New York right now. I think they're pushing maybe to Philly or Washington, D.C. next.
Jersey would be nice.
Jersey
Just
is,
saying.
but it's like, Jersey people are always swearing like they created the pork roll and nobody cares.
Pork roll's great.
It's just like...
Is it really?
But I live in Jersey, and I want a Schnippers close by.
Pork roll, Taylor
completely
ham.
selfish.
Exactly,
Yes,
Taylor
pork roll is
ham,
Taylor ham.
pork roll, it's terrible.
That's
Taylor
spam,
ham,
isn't it?
It is
kinda like-
crazy.
it's kinda like
exactly, Eric.
Why are you eating that?
Exactly.
Good.
Because it's delicious
Why would
on a roll with
anyone
an egg.
eat meat out of a can? No.
No.
I'll do it.
Well,
It doesn't
look,
matter.
I eat SpaghettiOs
You will,
cold,
because
so
you're
I
gonna
can't
try
really
it.
say that.
That's good, bud.
It is.
Or when you reheat it in a pan and you fry it.
But I eat
like
the ones
eggs.
with meatballs or hot dogs in it, so I'm eating meat from a can.
Yeah, I've seen you eat SpaghettiOs out of a can with a spoon cold.
Right.
Go
So you
into
can't knock
Schnippers
Taylor
and tell
ham.
them. Listen,
I
they
can.
have Shake Shacks in Jersey.
I know.
They did one in Hoboken.
I know.
That's not really
I'd
Jersey.
rather
They just
have
opened a
Schnippers.
counter near me. Have you been to the counter?
No, I haven't. It's
pretty
I've
good.
heard about it, yeah.
I want to
Good
go over
burgers.
there. Yeah.
They have a huge craft beer bar section.
Yep.
Which
And their
is great.
burgers, they look at least decent. I mean, they sound decent on the menu, but I haven't actually made it
But
over there
that's not
yet.
what we're talking
No,
about.
not
We're
at all.
talking about
Schnippers.
Schnippers. Where are you in Jersey?
I am in West Orange, so north
Yeah.
or northish,
Right. That's west.
sort of.
By Hackensack?
West Orange.
Yeah,
Is west.
I'm further
West.
east. Yeah.
What's your exact address? You look like you'd make a good hot dog.
I got a
you into
grill
a
out
grinder.
back.
Matt's
you can
done at
come
10
and
o'clock.
hang.
Just follow him home.
I think
that's all.
West Orange may be right behind Albuquerque for the Schnippers to do next.
All right, fine.
Well, Mark, thank you so much. Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze and it turned into a cough. That was really humiliating.
I thought you were going to correct Mark back to Mike, and I was
Yeah,
really
I was
We
really
can't do that
ready to
again.
laugh.
I have
at
this
that.
cough that I've had for 5 years. I just can't get rid of. I think I'm slowly dying, but
Try a hot dog.
That's what I'm counting.
I'm going to try this great food before that happens. The book, Meat, Everything You Need to Know, Pat LaFrida Meats, all that great stuff, like we said here. I think we've covered everything
I think
on
so.
that. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get into it with Bryan Quinn and Bryan Johnson. We have a couple announcements we got to make and a whole bunch of news stories that we have to go over. Oh, and I have a car update, too. So we'll do that. We'll go to break. Be right back. When do you get a chance to hear the Fat Boys nowadays on the radio?
Apparently the Erik Nagel show.
often in my home now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
so-
that's right. Your son's now into beatboxing.
A couple of weeks ago, my son randomly started beatboxing in the car, and
Where did he pick that up? It's not even an art that they do anymore.
because I listen to the
Like
Space
this.
Coast,
This
Coast
is
to Coast.
beatboxing for those of you who don't know.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, I
I
hear it.
listen to Space Goes Coast to Coast, and so Brack beatboxes in a couple of songs on
All
there.
right. Don't touch me.
Yeah, so he finds it really funny. So he started doing it. So now he tells me like every night, Dad, I got a new beat, and it's the same exact beat that he had the night before. But randomly last week, I was like, well, I'll show you some beatboxing, and I played a couple of Fat Boy songs because Buff from the Fat Boys was like
Right.
pretty
Human beatbox.
Yeah, he's human beatbox. But that's all he. That's like every day when we get in the car now, he wants to listen to like a random Fat Boy song. So I've created a monster.
Do you ever just want to grab him by the shirt and go, stop?
No,
Just
because
stop.
because in a weird way, I kind of like the Fat Boys from this weird nostalgic standpoint. Like, I just keep on thinking, yeah, I want to go back and watch Disorderlies because why not? So,
Wow, Disorderlies. I
Right?
forgot about that movie, yeah. It was almost like they were trying to be the Three Stooges. Sort of, right? Or was it more of like a Marx Brothers kind of?
It was goofy.
It's an insult to compare them to either.
I'm trying to relate to something. I guess it just stands on its own.
That movie was just goofy and silly, but it was silly in an all right sort of way. I don't know. I kind of have this weird nostalgia for it.
Let's see if it's on Netflix or Amazon Prime. I think I'll have to go back and watch the Disorderlies. I think 2 of them are dead.
Is it 2? I know Buff is dead.
Right. I think 2 of them are dead.
Yeah, I think one of the other one's dead too. Yeah.
And the one who was kind of white.
Yes.
That dude, I think he's still alive.
There's a joke in there somewhere, but
no, I'm not making a joke. I'm just stating a fact. I think he's the one that's still alive.
He's the one that survived? All right.
I think you should have our truck driver friend review the Disorderlies, the guy who called in last week.
If he calls back in today,
yes.
That's his
homework.
That's his homework.
Brian, we have this guy that called in for 2 weeks in a row that goes and sees the new Mad Max Fury Road and constantly keeps breaking down how bad this movie is. And he's the only one that thinks this movie is bad. Everyone who's watched this movie has said how amazing it is, and
that's all
the
I've heard
reviews have been great.
Things, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet myself.
It's pretty good.
But he keeps breaking it down. He's like, oh, if you take this part out, then there's no action. It's like, no shit. They're not taking that part out of the movie.
If you take the car chase out, there's nothing.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's there for a reason. So
it's the action in the movie.
He's not the editor.
So he keeps calling in. He's like, oh, I watched this part now, too. And this is another part that makes the movie awful. It's like he's just watching it to make the movie bad for himself.
So if he calls in Disorderlies, that's his homework.
That's what we'll have to do.
That sounds like the entire IMDb. Like if you go, like sometimes I go to the IMDb just to like reference something, and I'll torture myself by looking at the comments.
Oh, never read the comments.
Are terrible.
And it's just like, you just cannot believe there are this many assholes in the world that you're like, Jesus Christ almighty, like, you're so dopey.
But then you remember it's the internet, and you remember why you like to hang out with your friends and nobody else other than your friends. Because the internet is like every other asshole at the party.
I always wonder, like, what's it like to know this person in real life? Like, how awful that must be, you know?
Unless all of his friends think the same thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. I think it's these weird, just roving groups of trolls.
Well, everyone has like that friend on their friends list that's just like the train wreck that you're just friends with. You don't really hang out with them. You just want to see like how bad it's going to get to them.
And also,
like,
you know, if you
like
block him, he's just going to constantly harass all your other friends. Why was I blocked?
Annoying.
Why isn't he talking to me? It's just easy just to follow him and just not acknowledge what he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm that friend.
I didn't want to say anything, buddy.
We're talking with Bryan Johnson and Bryan Quinn from the podcast Tell 'em Steve Dave, which you can find on smodcast.com and subscribe on iTunes. How you guys been?
We've been pretty well, I'd say.
Yeah,
doing
pretty
well,
good.
right?
Yeah.
Brian's busy. Well, this Bryan Quinn has been busy with
call
TV.
Me Quinn, I guess, right?
Quinn.
Yeah.
And, well, I don't want to call him Johnson, like Ray J. Johnson.
You can if you want.
But,
we can bring back some meat jokes.
You're shooting another season?
Well, we're wrapping up season 4 now, and then I get like 2 days off when we start season 5. So it's going to be great. It's going to be good.
How fast do you get, like, can you turn these things around as far as writing what you're doing?
Well, a lot of the writing we do on Impractical Jokers is on the spot, so it's kind of like just come up with the idea. You know what I mean? Like today we whatever stupid thing we do on the streets, it's just coming up with the idea, and then we roll onto set and like we make up a lot of it as we go. So it's pretty lazy. You know what I mean? It's actually a lazy way to make television, but there you go.
There's a bench. I guess I can fall off of it, and there's an old lady walking by. There's episode 4.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the punishments take a little work because they take setup and secrecy, and they get elaborate at times.
Are you? I mean, not that you wouldn't be proud of your work, but are you amazed as far as the network goes from what True TV was to where it's going now?
Oh my God, I'm blown away by it. I mean, it used to be embarrassing to be on True TV, and it's not the case anymore. Like, it's a pretty exciting place to be right now, especially knowing what they have coming up. It's pretty great.
Because True TV, when it started, used to just have like bad reenactments.
It used to be Court TV, and then it changed to True TV.
Right, yeah.
Right,
that was
but
where
it was
changed.
like you would see. It was almost trying to be some of the programs were like unsolved mysteries, but not as good.
Yeah,
like there was like,
it was
and
horrible.
then there was a home invasion, and then you just see some guy creeping through the bushes trying to open the door. And,
yeah, that was the first episode of Impractical Jokers. You learn these things when you're behind the scenes, but like True is earned by Turner, and if I remember correctly, like they kind of weren't allowed to branch out back then. They kind of had to live in this weird like.
But then how do you make any money if you're not allowed to grow and develop?
Those shows, people watch them. Like, people watched those shows. It wasn't like they weren't doing good ratings. They were doing good, but it was just such a goofy network. That
think of the brilliance of just taking things off the internet and putting like world's worst, world's craziest, world's something in front of it.
When animals.
And then, and then just cut it, like editing it and being like, all right, now we're printing money.
In moderation,
Basically.
it's awesome. Like, I would still like watch those shows, but when the whole network is that, you're like,
I miss Wiener Circle.
you don't miss Wiener Circle.
But I mean, the network has a lot of faith in you that they're saying, oh, you're done with season 4. Nope, you got to go right into season 5.
Yeah, I mean, at first, I think that when they were trying to shift over to comedy, we were kind of all they had, and now that's not the case, and they're still taking care of us, so it's good. Yeah, they treat us well over there now.
I got to admit, when the first season was about to premiere for Impractical Jokers, the promos they ran really wasn't describing exactly what you guys were actually doing.
Oh, really? What were they like? I don't even remember.
They were kind of cornball in the sense of it was in the way it was edited too, because it was always like quick reactions to something, and you're like, what is he reacting to? And they're not even giving you a hint of what the joke was or the scenario.
Well, you talking about the episodes or the promos?
The promos.
Well,
it wasn't a good selling point to get people into, especially going into that first season, to get them hooked to watch.
They didn't know how to sell the show. I think is probably the problem.
Well, you have
a
promo department that at the time didn't know how to do promos for anything besides like, here's a fat guy with a banana, watch him, you know what I mean, flip. So they had to learn the language of that, and also, you don't, like, a network has a tone to it, and they didn't want to go too far away from the tone because they don't want people to, like, then not watch the show. You need to sort of nurse everybody into it, you know what I mean? So I guess that was it. Or they just suck at making promos back then. I don't know. But they were,
But they do a fine job now.
Is Hardcore Pawn still on?
It is, I believe. Yeah.
Wow.
Les Gold.
That's something else.
He's going. He blew me off, like at an event. Like I ran into him in like Vegas or something. He like just blew me off. So I was like, oh
wow.
Shit, I just got blown off by Les Gold. Well, I think they were the highest network like show on the network until we came along.
I didn't even get blown off by Bob Odenkirk. I saw.
Yeah.
What about as far as since you have 4 seasons already done, as far as like DVD sets and things like that?
They're out there. I think they just asked us to do commentary for the 3rd one. So they're out there. I mean, do people still buy DVDs? I don't know. I've never seen a dime from them, so I don't pay attention to it.
Yeah. You don't get any residuals off that?
We do, but it's that math of like. It's that corporate
it's lumped into
math.
Something else.
Yeah.
It's linked into somebody else's paycheck, not his.
Yeah,
basically.
It's like that thing where it's just like, oh, you'll get it eventually, and it's just like, well, it's been 4 years. When do I get that? But I mean, I don't think they sell enough that you would like. Like, I think I could maybe pay for some meat that guy brought in. It's not like they're
bone-in filet.
Yeah.
I feel like it would do better on like an online platform than it would do a DVD platform, like like a YouTube channel or something.
Yeah, that's the other thing too with YouTube. How is your social media presence? As far are people finding what you guys are doing more through YouTube than are watching the actual show?
I don't know. You have to remember, I'm old. Like, I'm going to be 40, so I'm like, I don't like poke around too much with the YouTubes and the stuff like that.
Are you all like unfrozen caveman lawyer? Like, this scares me.
YouTube. A lot of young people are like, I watch the show online and stuff like that. To which I'm like, well, that doesn't help my ratings, so thanks for nothing. Little snot-nosed.
Well, it's got 20 million views. I'm not seeing a dime.
Well, I think they put them all streaming on the True TV
do
website.
They?
I think they do, because they also do Barmageddon, which I just finished doing today. On True TV.
My buddy Gittles here does editing for a lot of TV shows, and what was the I still want to see it, but I haven't seen it. What was the one about the killing the old people?
Oh, Elder Skelter?
Yeah.
Elder Skelter was great.
Awesome.
It was like a true crime show about like senior citizens who became murderers at like 80.
What network was that?
It was on Discovery ID.
You're making me hard.
It was pretty great.
What a great name.
Yeah, Elder Skelter. And they only did 3 episodes. Like, I don't know if there's a market for it. So I just started sending in like articles about people like running over people with wheelchairs, and they just were not buying it.
It's not even a good name for a TV show. It's a good name for anything.
Anything. It's great.
A car.
A band.
Kids will wear the T-shirt and not even know what the show is just because it says it.
I just want a T-shirt of an old guy in a wheelchair just running down children now. Like, that'd be a great T-shirt.
Well, the best was like all the recreations was like some old lady and like the cop being like, "Freeze, grandma!" She's like, and falls over because the kickback from the gun.
Stop or my mom will shoot.
Yeah, basically.
The ID channel is a very strange. Like, I always wonder who gets up and at 7 in the morning is like, boom, ID channel, like watching people getting murdered.
Like, so
that's really all it is this weird kind of like spectacle. They had like a Stepford Wives. I can't remember what the show is called, but the way they reenact it's like people really died, but they shoot it in like this weird Technicolor kind of way, and they reenact stories about people getting murdered, and just the narration where they're like, it sounds creepy. Strange. It's so
and they always get it wrong too.
Exploitative.
Okay,
yeah. Like they'll change like facts in cases, and we're like, no, we can't do that. Like that actually happened in the story. Like we can't change like who the murderer is.
But we can't fit this into half an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
We have to change this.
Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know.
But you're almost done with the show that you're on now, right?
I stopped today. Today was my last day. Barmageddon.
Is that a good thing?
For me, it is.
Okay. Hello, unemployment.
What's that about, Barmageddon?
Barmageddon is a show where people swap bars for a week and see if they can make more money in the other person's bar.
Gotcha.
So it's like wife swap with bars. That's how the easiest way to sell it.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
And you're not doing America's Got Talent this year, huh?
No, I am. That's not until August, though.
Isn't it on now?
Yeah, but they don't come to New York till August.
Oh, they're not even live yet.
No,
I haven't watched that show in a while, so I have no idea what's
going on.
You're
very informative.
That's actually that show is the reason I stopped listening to Howard Stern. I could not take how much he talked about it. I was like, I just can't deal with it anymore. I can't deal with it.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, I can't deal with the nonstop chatter about it.
All of those shows, I just don't understand how they're still. I mean, I guess I do. It's because it's exploitative and everybody's a peeping Tom in their own weird way. But they're still on forever. And
yeah, but they're starting to slowly dissolve.
Well, finally, American Idol got canceled, right? That's like the first. No,
there's one more season. They're doing one more season, but that's not even a season. The season used to be a year.
Right.
Now it's like 3 editions in a year equals season. So they're doing one more, which will probably be in the fall once The Voice and AGT is gone. They'll do American Idol final season, whatever. Have maybe Simon comes back and all these other past winners. They'll do a whole big send-off. But once that goes, because that was the one that started bringing back all these talent variety shows.
Right.
That goes, you're going to start seeing people are going to start getting tired of The Voice.
Well, that's what I mean. It's the first
and
domino
Dancing
to fall.
with the Stars and all those things. I think in the next 5 years, that's going to fizzle out.
Fingers crossed. And then maybe Survivor will follow suit afterwards.
Do you think they would have held on to Dunkelman if he hadn't quit? Like, do you think? Because he must look at Ryan Seacrest and be like, I need a length of rope, and I need a beam that's heavy enough to support my weight.
Yeah. I could have had the show. I could have had a nationally syndicated radio show. I could have taken over for Casey Kasem. I could have taken over for Dick Clark.
Yeah,
I could have had
any number of things.
Blonde model girlfriend after model girlfriend after model girlfriend.
I think Dunkelman's biggest problem was his last name. Dunkelman just doesn't sell.
Too ethnic.
That's what. Too ethnic. Yeah, that's it.
That's
it just
what it
doesn't
was.
sell. Seacrest sounds
had nothing to do with talent.
Pizzazzy.
It sounds like a water ski.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It sounds fun and exciting.
Dunkelman.
I wouldn't mind missing out on all that stuff. I would mind being second guessed by everybody.
Yeah,
because everybody's just like, Dunkelman, you ass. You know what I mean? Like, that's the part I wouldn't like.
But Dunkelman, I mean, what else is he going to do? But he maintains, like, no, I made the right decision.
Is he doing anything professionally though? Is he working?
I think he used to stand up. Like, I thought he was a stand up
really?
comedian. Yeah, and he said he was doing like some stuff in Vegas.
Huh.
Now that could be hustling on the street. I don't know exactly what he meant.
A lot of street work.
Poor Dunkelman.
I'll be your
poor
idol.
Even now, he's a punchline.
That's his finishing move, the Dunkelman. That earns him the big
Dunkelman
bucks.
sounds like some kind of snack cake line.
Yeah.
You know, they make donuts and fruit pies.
He's like, you ready to get dunkled, man?
It's like gay porn?
Yeah.
That's the big finish.
Am I speaking to myself? I just said that's his finishing move. That's
Did you?
funny. Yes,
I
we're on the same
apologize.
page. No, we're on the same page.
No, sometimes I just tune you out.
I know, you ignore me always. I'm used to it by now,
I do
but
apologize for that.
It's cool.
Let's get to some of the things that we actually have planned here.
Sure.
'Cause,
What do you have planned here?
I'll address all 3 Bryans that are sitting next to each other here. We have a tendency to run out the show and pretty much not get to everything that we needed to talk about.
Indeed.
Which is not a bad problem to have.
No.
But
sometimes we don't get to any of the things, like for the entire show,
Right.
though.
But I think we're taking the next step to improving that situation.
Oh, yay.
Because
We're wasting trees about it now.
because starting next week, the program is now going to 3 hours.
Yay.
Thanks to Greg Opie Hughes and Don Wicklin and SiriusXM. They came up to me and they said, they heard enough from people who listen to this show. And to be honest, we didn't ask. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but they were confident in us. They like what we're doing. And they said, I think you guys can do 3 hours. And I said, I agree. I think we can definitely do that. And so starting next week, we're going to move the show to 3 hours. So
Fantastic.
we will be 7 to 10 p.m. on the East Coast.
That's awesome.
And 4 to 7 p.m. on the West Coast.
We could put on our big boy pants.
Right. So
Does that come with a raise or what?
you would think.
No,
I got it. Say no more. Enjoy the extra hour, boys.
That's it.
It's like my DVD sales.
I think the same people from True TV run SiriusXM.
I mean, says the guy who does Tell 'em Steve Dave for free. We can. In fact, not even free. It costs him money and tolls and gas to get there.
Yeah.
None of your friends throw you a bone like, here's 20. Thanks for coming out to do the
No, I
podcast.
have no friends.
No, he's got that DVD money. What do you think he did?
Tens of
Walt
cents.
does give me a discount on comics, so that's my payment, I guess.
Just when he's not
Like a
looking
fat
right under the
10% off.
jacket.
Do you read a lot of comics?
Oh my God, week in, week out.
Yeah? Nice.
Yeah, tons.
What are you reading right now?
Read my
Well,
mind.
now
Sorry.
we're in a weird stage because they like Convergence just went by and Secret Wars is in, so they stopped everything. But Green Lantern, I love. Superman, when it's good, I love. Spider-Man has been great. Dan Slott's run on that has been pretty awesome. I liked a lot of the old Vertigo stuff. Preacher, obviously.
Sure.
Who doesn't love Preacher?
Suddenly, I wish the meat guy was back.
I almost made an Odin Quincannon joke while he was here, but I was like, nobody's going to. Preacher's like 10 years out of print. Nobody's going to know it.
But it's going to be hot soon because it's
will
coming to
be.
AMC.
Yeah, but they're not going to put Odin Quincannon in that show. The guy fucked meat. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he fucked meat. Like they're not going to put that on
Spoiler.
AMC. I don't know.
I don't know.
Tube steak.
They got Arseface in there.
They did, but ours face is palatable because he's a good guy and like he's kind of a good thing. I read too many comics.
Too many comics. I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, Squirrel Girl I've been reading. Unbeatable Squirrel Girl's been pretty badass.
I have them all, but I haven't read them yet.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Isn't that the best part of Preacher? The punishment, him in the coffin going down to the bottom
So
of the lake.
creepy, man.
What a great idea that was, man.
Yes, he was in there. What they hit? Did you read Preacher?
No, I did not.
I've not yet.
But
It's great.
it's one of those ones
on your
that's,
list, 'cause I've been telling you for
yes,
years.
that everyone
Street.
tells you that you need to read this
You
series.
gotta read it. But his family punishes him by locking him in a coffin with an air tube and throwing him into a swamp. And he stays in there for like a week at a time with no food, no water, obviously no toiletry and stuff like that. And at one point he's in there for 2 months, and it's just so creepy.
Yeah.
It's one of those ideas you're like, God damn, I wish I thought of that. I could have written that into something, you know? Like that should be a punishment. Put Sal in a coffin, dump him into a swamp for 2 weeks.
Let me write this down.
But don't even do it. It's just a kiddie pool. He has no idea.
Filled with piss.
Yeah.
Are you watching the comic book shows that are on TV, like
watch
Daredevil on
Comic Man.
Netflix?
Looks like comic book,
Yeah,
man.
I watch Comic Book Men every week. That Ming is awesome. Daredevil I watched in one weekend.
What'd you
Daredevil
think?
was great.
I loved it. I thought spoiler alert, although I won't say what the ending was, but I thought the ending was a bit abrupt. Like I was just like, whoa, it's over. But
Do you think that was just in case because they didn't know if they would get a second season? Like, well, maybe we should just get to this point right now and hope.
I don't know. I don't know. I thought they did such a great job of building Wilson Fisk up, and then the end sort of confrontation was so swift. That being said, it's a 9 out of 10. That series, it's great.
It absolutely is a home run, and it's a great launching off point for that whole Netflix genre of Marvel shows. I mean, they definitely got some good stuff coming out and some stuff hopefully in the works.
Can't wait. And I just heard Punisher and Ghost Rider are two of my favorite characters. That they're putting them in that Netflix cinematic universe as side characters.
Oh, good. We can talk about that.
Yes.
Okay, let's
so
talk about that.
We have to address a rumor that was going around that Jason Statham was going to be added to Daredevil for season 2.
As Bullseye. And that was the rumor.
You guys don't like that?
No, I love that.
Oh, I was about to say,
no.
what's going on?
I actually
He's about to throw that bottle right at you.
No. I actually
torpedo.
even like Ghost Rider and Punisher, and Blade was the third name if you hadn't heard.
Yeah,
that was
I heard
thrown
Blade
into
too.
that rumor. But the problem I have is that there's this weird internet thing where certain sites just feel like making shit up, and then everybody runs with it. And That is a rumor that has not been confirmed. Marvel
Twitter.
has not confirmed it. No, but
website.
there are certain websites that are really, really good at it. And like,
Clickbait.
So I've had a bunch of people today ask me about this. Is this really happening? Is this really happening? And I'm like, you have to look at the source. Please read the source, and then you can make the decision yourself. I would love to see all of those things, but I'm at the point where I don't believe any of that stuff until I see it confirmed.
Though, right? Like
Punisher, and actually, I think all three of those characters are no-brainers. They work in that sort of gritty noir world that they're doing on Netflix, and so, yeah, I hope it happens. But
did they have any supernatural things in Daredevil? Not really, right?
They didn't, but they're going to have Iron Fist, and Iron Fist has to have a supernatural element. So, I mean, it's not like it's not like it'll be too far off. I kind of like the fact that
Daredevil didn't have the superpower kind of feel to it. That for what it was, you could think like a guy could really probably do that, like in real life. You don't think so?
It's certainly.
I'm not
more
talking
grounded.
about the. I'm not talking about the the blind stuff. But I'm saying as far as his fighting skills and things like that, and the fight scenes that were done in that show, were very believable. It wasn't lasers and machinery and things like that. It was hand-to-hand combat and weapons.
It's certainly more grounded than other superhero books. But Daredevil has always been that way. It's one of the reasons why so many people like Daredevil. He's that type of character.
I'm just glad in the show they didn't do any kind of cheesy like RoboCop vision thing for him, like being able to use his like sonar hearing to like figure things out.
They did in one episode, didn't they? Do the fire?
They showed how the world was on
fire.
I know I'm in the minority because I've said this a bunch and nobody agrees with me, but I liked the way they handled it in Affleck's version. I thought it was great.
I like the Affleck movie. I did not hate the Affleck movie.
I'm right there with you, man. Yeah. I remember seeing it in theater and being like, "Holy shit! Like this is pretty good."
Right. I mean, granted, it wasn't
this
perfect.
Affleck kid is going places.
This Affleck kid. If he needs help, he can call me.
One day he might be Batman even. But I did not hate the Affleck movie.
Yeah.
I actually kind of liked it. I think this new version is a better take on the character in a lot of ways, but the Affleck version wasn't that terrible. Not as bad as some people. It wasn't Elektra, that's for sure.
I didn't even see Elektra.
Good on you.
I never liked that character. Like Elektra never did it for me. I know she's his big romantic thing, but I was just like, all right, so she's a female assassin that barely wears clothes. Like I get it, but I don't care.
And she'll be in season 2. They even referenced her in season 1 in
that
one
college
episode.
Thing,
I mean, she'll be there, but
well, I mean, if you're going to get assassinated by a girl, she may as well be half naked, right?
No. I'm not taking that stance. I think I'm not like cover him up. I like a little.
That's not
bit
the
of
last thing I want to see before I die.
I like the women being like barely clothed. I like the Power Girl boob window. I like all that stuff. I'm down with all of it.
We got a cisgendered feminist on our hands.
Yeah.
oh, jeez.
Cisgendered. Have you ever heard about this one?
Yeah. I did because I heard the last episode of Tell 'em Steve did.
Let's not revisit that. Cisgendered. Lord Almighty.
It's a guy.
So you're a guy.
Cisgendered,
born a guy.
Cisgendered is a normal guy, but you can't say normal guy because that's offensive to someone who is
it's just a dude.
Something.
You're a man in a man's body.
Yes.
And you feel that you've always been born a man.
That's correct. And you like man things.
Why do they have to make it sound sissy then? Can't it be like man-gendered? Then I would be like, yeah, I'm man-gendered. Yeah. Like now
or just stick with male. That's okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty good with male. I'm guy, dude. I'm okay with all those terms.
Dude. And I think it's because like it would never occur to me to harass or bother or even look down upon anybody who, I mean, this sounds like PC, but you've known me a long time. Like I have zero hate in my heart, man. I'm like, if you want to do whatever you want to do, go for it. So I'm just like, well, why do I have to be roped into this? Like, why do I have to be like?
Why do I need a label?
Yeah, I don't want a label. I don't want a label. Like,
which is so funny because the irony being that the people that are so into this shit are like against labels,
right?
Yet they want to label everything.
Yeah.
Like on Facebook that time, they were like, okay, well, they added like new, like, sex orientations. And there was like 42 different friggin' choices.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to buy stock in American Standard because there's going to be so many different bathrooms.
And like LGBT or whatever, isn't it like 10 letters long
there's
now?
A Q in it now.
There's a Q in it now.
What's the Q stand for?
I think the Q has always been there.
Is an X in there now? See, there's
for
like
what,
they just I don't
X-Men?
know for X-Men for mutant maybe.
For mutants.
That's awesome.
Oh, I'd take that.
I'll take X.
Let's see my Cyclops.
Hey,
We've gone 5 minutes and we haven't talked about how Caitlyn Jenner is brave. Is that Is that politically correct? Do we need to call her brave yet? Or, no?
It's atrocious that we haven't discussed that. How dare you not bring it up on this platform?
It's interesting that everyone felt the need that they had to comment on it, and being on the radio, being TV, yeah, you have to. You got to generate content. But people who are not doing what we do or what the entertainment shows are doing, and they're doing the same thing, if not more in depth than what TV and radio is portraying as far as the change and what have you. You can get in trouble just for saying, I don't care about it. It's like, best of luck to that person. Do what you got to do. I don't care. I don't want to talk about it. And then people go, how dare you not care? You're being insensitive. Why aren't this is a role model and this is a historical and all these things.
This is a watershed moment.
Right. It's just like, okay, well, God bless. I don't care. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want any part of it. And then you're looked at as being evil.
Yeah.
I don't even care that people want to call her brave. I kind of understand the designation and what it means. But my problem is these are the same people that in their next Facebook post are making fun of Chris Christie's moose knuckle. Like, you can't have it one way or the other. Like, if you can't body shame one person
Tweedledee, Tweedledum
and be
outfit.
okay with the other. Like, have some consistency in your online arguing, I guess.
We talked about it this week where
you can men fat shame. You can't women fat shame.
That's right.
Yeah,
I forgot.
Sure. Where
Dad bod.
I believe that
God.
The trooper, like, now is probably the safest time to come out as a transgendered person, rather than, like, even say 10 years ago, I lived in LA and I lived in West Hollywood, and there were a lot of, like, transgender, like, dudes there who, like, I mean, they didn't have the money that Caitlyn Jenner has, which honestly, the one thing I love about the situation is that she went with a C
instead of the K.
I love it. Yeah. And these are guys, like, say, these guys or gals, one's in the 80s, one's in the 70s, like, ones that were getting their asses kicked in.
Sure.
And had to deal with, like, all kinds of bullshit. Like, this was a no-brainer that she was going to be accepted and lauded and loved. So, as far as bravery, I don't know, man. Like, brave would have been if you did it way back, like I said, if
you surprised everyone and then all of a sudden, like, what the hell did Bruce Jenner just do?
Crashed through that finish line. He won the ribbon, and he's just like, I'm cutting my cock off. And everyone's like, what?
This is my medal,
I told you not to mic the finish line.
And there's a movement too. They want to. It has to be trolls. Like, they want to take back the gold.
Yeah, because
come on.
Yeah,
it's absurd, man.
But all of those million moms and all those groups are so terrible. It's just useless. It's the internet, though. I mean, it's every topic. It's the topic of the week. By next week, it'll be something else.
He felt like a girl, therefore he shouldn't. He should have his medals taken away, or her medal, whatever you want to say.
There's no logic to it.
It makes absolutely no sense.
Of course not. And I'm not even 100% convinced that most of the time those people actually believe what they're saying makes sense. They just want to be behind the cause.
They
just
feel the
trolls.
need that I have nothing. I need to be a part of something.
I gotta
that
hashtag
seems of
something.
Yeah, exactly. You have to say something.
Well, I had a thought the other day where I was like, remember how we all made fun of Kenny Rogers when he had his face fucked up? With that, and then remember that like a decade or so back, that woman had to make the plastic surgery and her face got all fucked up and she looked like a cat.
Jocelyn Wildenstein.
Yeah, and we were all like making fun of her and stuff like that. Like, all right, but you can make fun of them for doing it, but you can't look at Kris Jenner and be like, I don't know, he kind of looks fucked up to me.
No,
he doesn't look like a woman.
You could
to me. He looks like fucked up to me.
You could back then. That cat photo was that lady as a cat was a staple of, I think, Craig Ferguson. Like, he constantly because he always would point out celebrities and go to the wrong photo all the time, and I think that was one of them.
That was one of his go-tos.
But now, because of that, you can't do that anymore. That's gone. That's off the table.
Can't make fun of anybody.
No.
Can't even make fun of the meat guy that was here. Can't rip on poor Mark.
No, we can. I just want to get more meats.
Well, he gave us all his card, I think. So
I was so insanely disappointed that Pat himself wasn't here. I gotta say though, like, I had no idea who the guy was. Right. I looked it up on Wikipedia. First, his entry's longer than mine is, and I've been doing stuff for a while. Secondly, I'm like, holy crap, he's been on so many TV shows. Like, AMC is doing such a shitty job of promoting us. I I've never been on any show except for Erik Nagel.
By the way,
Nagel's goodly enough to have me.
Thanks for plugging that on Tell 'em Steve did. Because when that episode came out, I saw a lot of feedback.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
From your I wanted to ask you. Get into the podcast a tiny bit. Your fan base you call the Ants.
Yeah.
Right. Why? What's the story behind that?
That was Walt, who basically, like, anytime you show the slightest degree of pride in something that you've done, he will slap you down, tell you that you're ordinary, that you have absolutely no reason to be proud of yourself for any reason, that we're all just ants, you know? And so that's like, you know, the Opie and Anthony, they had the pests.
The pests.
Yeah. So, like, we have the ants. And the thing is, though, like, we consider ourselves ants as well. But it came from Walt. Walt's abhorrence of anyone trying to distinguish
it's
themselves.
Like the Tyler Durden, like nobody's special.
Yeah, you're not a beautiful and unique snowflake kind of thing.
Leader of the non-unique.
Right, exactly. And most embrace it, but like there's some people that are like, I'm no ant.
Special.
Yeah. I'm special.
We call those the don't get it guys.
Yeah. Most people get it though. They're a fiercely loyal bunch, the ants.
Yeah, we love them.
Yeah, I've seen some of them. I've seen some of them in action on Twitter when they're needed, and they are a loyal bunch.
Yeah, if we ask them to assemble and go after somebody,
throw out the ant signal.
It's done. Yeah.
Ant-Man.
Well, we even like going to cons. I got sick last year, and because people always want to shake your hand. This social convention of like, I got to touch you. I just want to shake your hand. People will say that. And I said, I don't want to touch people all the time. So we do this little thing with, like, if you're an ant, you just do the little antenna thing, and that's how you know each other. And they do it at the Impractical Jokers shows. And I love. That way I don't have to dry out my hands with antiseptic.
Purell all day long.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, for years, so many people mocked Howie Mandel because he wouldn't shake hands or whatever. Or he would bump fists or elbows that he does.
Yeah.
And now everyone's doing it because they just don't want to shake hands anymore.
Yeah, I was in Chicago and I got sick. I was sick for a good 3 months. It was awful.
Con crud is the worst.
What's that?
Con crud is the worst.
Yeah, we went to New York Comic Con and there was a sign, and it was on their website that said, like, it basically asked attendees, like, we request that you shower. Yeah. What other group of people do you have to tell?
Right.
Like, look, if you're going to be here, please try not to revolt and
try and be a person.
People.
I remember, I think it was like maybe 3 or 4 years ago at New York Comic Con. I don't remember. Maybe it was Right Guard, but one of them had a booth and was actually handing out
the little samples, right,
all day, and it was genius. It was
it's
like
those samples that they give you at your introduction to college.
Yeah, right. It's like
that's in your dorm. Welcome to college. Here's a little shaving cream thing. Here's a coupon. Yeah, that's what they were giving away.
Yeah, and it was brilliant. It was I mean, from a marketing standpoint, that's your demo. That's the people you need to convince. So,
well, let's pause on that note because I do want to talk to Bryan Johnson, who is an expert as far as cons go.
Okay.
We have some con news and other stuff going on with us. We're going to talk about that when we come back from break. Is there anything you want to plug before we go to break?
Not really.
Nothing?
No.
Nope. Okay. Yeah. Potty time. Lewis, hit it. We're back. It's Erik Nagel, 866-969-1969. Gittles has got to get out of here.
Yeah, I got to leave a little early. I got a little family weekend in Philly I got to attend to. So,
do you want to do your plug now?
Yeah, you could just follow me on Instagram or Twitter. My Twitter and Instagram is both Gittlebass, Gittlebass.
No sriracha sushi takedown or something?
I got no takedown, man.
He's got an Ewok takedown coming up in about 2 weeks, so he's got to dress as a stormtrooper in order to do that.
It's true, man. I'm pretty sure an Ewok would take you down if you land on that planet and they were hungry.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure they would eat you.
They are definitely cannibals.
They have skulls.
Yeah.
Like Predator.
All right, Gittlebass on Twitter and Instagram. Please follow him and enjoy what he enjoys.
Woo-hoo. Thanks,
man. We're going to see you next week, right?
Oh, yeah. I'll be here next week.
Okay, cool.
Huzzah.
Also next week, we stated earlier, but we'll state again, the show is now moving to 3 hours.
Indeed.
Which we cannot thank everybody enough who had a hand in that. and also you, the listeners, who were very vocal about it on social media. That definitely did help. So thank you, thank all of you guys so very much. Next week, 3 hours, still starting at 7 p.m., but we're going to go to 10 p.m. on the East Coast, and it's 4 to 7 on the West Coast.
Nice.
So if you're trapped in your car out in Los Angeles or San Francisco in rush hour traffic, feel free to be stuck listening to us if you could do that. Also, next week on the show, Rob Delaney is going to be on the program.
Nice.
He has a program that's doing very well in the UK that was coming to the United States via Netflix called Catastrophe.
All right.
So he's going to be here to talk that. And then we're also going to have Jeanette McCurdy.
Okay.
You know who she is?
Oh, yeah. Sam and Cat. What's up, baby?
That's not good that you said that. Jeanette McCurdy from the show, I guess everybody knows her from iCarly on Nickelodeon. Right. She has another Netflix. Netflix is just all over the place with all this new stuff. A show called Between.
Okay.
So she's going to be here to talk about that. Also, our buddy Bryan Shea.
Yeah, E3 is right around the corner.
Is going to call in with his preview for E3. Then he's going to be away on the 19th. Otherwise, we would have him there because that's when everything's going on.
Right.
And then we're in Miami on the week after.
Right.
So we're not going to be able to get a preview till after that. So we're going to try to get as much as we can. He's going to tell us what they're looking forward to, what some of the surprises may be.
Fallout 4.
Right.
Oh, man, did you see that trailer? Huh?
That's the big one, yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Looks pretty badass.
So we'll have that next week on the program. So hopefully you'll tune in for that.
I like when Bryan calls in.
I do too. And also we have to go to. We are going to be at Florida SuperCon at the end of the month.
Indeed.
January 25th through the 28th. June 25th through the 28th. We'll be down there. No, we're going in January. It's much nicer. We'll be down there for Florida SuperCon. We'll be down there doing interviews. We're going to do the show from there. Myself, Gittles is going. Unfortunately, Matt can't make this trip.
I could not attend. I apologize. I wish that I could.
But we'll be down there. Roland's coming down, too.
Yeah, Cuban sandwiches.
Yes, Roland wants to... Look, this is a great idea. He wants to kind of skip out early one day and go to find some of those restaurants away from Miami Beach with the authentic Cuban food.
Sure.
I'm all about it.
All right.
We're going to definitely go do that. But we'll be down there. Some of the interviews are starting to line up already, right?
Yeah, we're waiting for some confirmations.
All right, so it'll be a good time.
Who do you got so far, Roland? Who do you got locked down?
Don't announce it just too early.
Nobody
too early to announce
comfortable
it?
saying.
So in other words, no one.
Doctor Who people. All that fun stuff.
Yeah.
I hope so.
And then also we need to announce, too,
I'm going to send you with a suitcase full of stuff that I want signed.
2 weeks after that, we're going to be live at San Diego Comic-Con.
Indeed, you are.
Which is going to be great, and we'll be broadcasting from there.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly where on the floor we'll be. Won't be near Hall H, but it will be somewhere in the midst of the people, and we'll be doing that live.
Although I think you should go and camp out in a line at Hall H for a couple hours just because, and
I might
talk to
for the
people
Doctor
online.
Who panel.
Fair enough.
But everything else is not worth my time.
All right.
Doesn't mean I don't want to talk to them. I definitely want to talk to them, but I can't sit there for 6 hours.
San Diego too, isn't it?
For San Diego, yes, it is.
Wow.
And this is
you
where
in for hell.
Well, I'm bringing this up because obviously we have to plug it, but also we have an expert here as far as cons go with Bryan Johnson. Bryan Quinn, do you do some of the cons too?
Oh my God, I'll be at San Diego this year. I'll come by and say hi.
All right,
I've
great.
Been to the last 4 San Diego. I've probably been to
We're San Diego old school.
Yeah,
when it used to actually be comics and not just A-list stars.
We used to go in the 90s. This is probably going to be my 11th San Diego Comic-Con this year.
We'd love to have you come
I'll
over.
come by, definitely come by. I got not a Doctor Who guy. I'm going to go to 12 Monkeys panel.
Okay. I love 12 Monkeys.
Oh, man.
Rick and Morty, yeah.
Emily Hampshire.
Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty.
Q introduced me to Rick and Morty, and I have a niece. She's 9. She has Down syndrome. She normally likes like Winx girls, ponies, that kind of crap.
I've heard your discussion on the BronyCons and all that.
Yeah. She one day she walked in when I was watching Rick and Morty. Which Q introduced me to. And became completely fascinated with it. And what she didn't know was that Q was hanging out with Justin
Roiland, yeah. The guy who created the show and does the voice of Rick and Morty.
And he left a message, and he said my name, and he said Sage's name. And I had it saved, so I played it for Sage.
Well, he did it as Rick and Morty.
He did it as Rick and Morty, yeah. her eyes were like, I mean, immediate saucers. Like, she goes, Rick, say my name. She was so blown away. And the show,
that's awesome.
That show is so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Did you see the Simpsons crossover they did?
Yeah, the opening.
The couch gag?
The couch gag was great.
I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about this, but it's about Rick and Morty.
Do it.
Our friend, I'm trying to find the plug here before I do it. I lost it.
Josh.
Yeah, do you have Josh's plug there?
Sure.
Oh, I
Josh
switched the
Merman,
pages right here.
defining a dysfunctional.
Right. Go to the website 1988, and you got to spell out the words. It's not the numbers. 1988.com. It's a place where he has a lot of his artwork there. Josh was on our show because he does a lot of the artwork where it's words that make up the art, the characters, the scenarios, and everything like that. And he was nice enough to do Homer Simpson, where he included the show and my name and everything, and it's hanging proudly in my house. He showed me some things. I'm not going to talk about them as far as the detail, but their tie into Rick and Morty, if this comes out, is going to blow your mind.
That's awesome.
And he talked with Justin, and Justin loved it, but it goes past them because I think it goes through Adult Swim and Turner and CBS and all those people. So they got to get approval from that stuff. But if it goes through, he's going to come back on here and show you some of the stuff that he did. It ties in with Rick and Morty. It ties into Simpsons. It ties into a whole bunch of cool things, and it's very exciting. So I'm hoping, I'm going to get that text one day. It's like, yep, it's a good, let's go, and come in. And when you see this stuff, it's amazing. But he's got some cool stuff out now. He just did another Simpsons piece where it's the entire family, including Grandpa, all spelt out in words and everything like that.
Okay.
So if you're into that kind of art or just art in general and want to support it, go to 1988, spell it out.com. And support Josh if you could.
If as soon as you see his work, you'll recognize it because he's on all the T-shirt sites all the time. He had he had a Link shirt that was really, really popular that made it around to a couple sites, I think. And I mean, his work definitely stands out. So he was great when he was in here last time. Definitely check out his stuff.
I want to talk to Bryan about the cons.
Yes,
here.
you keep saying as much.
So you have, and both of you have gone to so many of these, and it's probably old hat to you now. And now it's a job rather than going for your own enjoyment.
Absolutely.
Not for me. I like going over.
So we're going to go down to Miami. We're going to do San Diego, and there might be one or two others that are around the bend before we get to New York Comic Con. What are some of the tips and tricks to doing these things? Do you have any advice as far as what we should look out for and what not to do?
Christ, I don't know. Normally when I do a con, I'm like the anti-Ming. Like Ming is a very, Ming, one of the other guys on Comic Book Men. He's a strange bird.
He loves himself on Instagram.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like it really is weird for an adult cisgendered male to
it's also funny too when he's posing with people. They take a step away, so there's a reasonable gap between them, and he's standing with a pose, smiling, and they're back here about half a step.
Yeah, he like let's say the con is from Friday to Sunday.
Right.
I will get in Thursday night. And I will leave Sunday night. Now, Ming will get in Wednesday and then leave the following Wednesday or Thursday. That's how much he loves it. When we were in Dallas or somewhere recently, so one of the assistants or volunteers says like, "Oh, Ming's nicer than you are." And I said, "Really? What makes him so nice?" And she's like, "Well, he comes and helps us set up." And I'm like,
he's paid to appear. He's not going
to. I was like, yeah, everything this guy does devalues us. It's why Pat LaFrida's on more shows than I'm on, because everything Ming does is like you can't get away from him. So he there's no reason to come to our table. He'll come to you.
He's a man of the people.
He really is.
He's a giant fanboy in a weird way. Yeah, right.
Which is weird because Ming didn't even start reading comics till like 3 years ago.
No, yeah, and he knows his knowledge is marginally better than mine, but he has a comics podcast, which is odd. As far as the cons, I'll give you, I can't remember the name, I'll find it out, but there's a great restaurant down in Miami that not a lot of people know about. Tips and tricks. I don't know. What would you say, Q?
Well, in what way? In working or buying? Or
not so much buying, because Matt and I had more so Matt than me, but we've had a lot of experience dealing. I'm saying as far as being there, not just to do interviews, but it's almost like they have a setup for us where we're going to be in front of a live audience, and it's almost an appearance too while doing the broadcast. So things like that, like what are we looking for? What do we deal with as far as the promoter and things like that?
I found that you really have to be clear in what it is you want and what it is you require. Like,
no vagary.
No, like this past con that I did, I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit. Washington, D.C. Mike didn't go. It was just Ming and I. And I wanted to do a solo panel, as well as the panel with Ming. So I did like a solo AMA, which I like. I would rather sit on the stage all day talking like at people rather than be at the table talking to people. It's just my personality.
Sure.
And Ming sends me a text about the Comic Book Men panel, and he says the promoter just texted or emailed Rob Bruce is going to be on our panel. And he's like the expert guy on Comic Book Men. Now, I like Rob, but I did a panel with him one other time, and he's a pain in the ass. So I'll be honest. So I wrote back to Ming and I said, no way. I wrote to our handler and I said, look, I don't know what's going on here, but I said, I'm not going to be told who I'm on stage with. Not everybody is built to be on stage and answer questions and that kind of stuff. And, so it became kind of blew up. It became like a thing. And Rob Bruce wrote me an email apologizing. And I was like, I said, you don't need to apologize. I said, it's not against you. It's just this presumption that we can throw anybody on stage with you we feel like. And that's, you're just going to listen. I'm not good at that. I'm born defiant, So we're at the con. Rob Bruce comes up to me and he's like, do you mind if I go? To which I say, no, of course not. I'm not saying you can't be in the same room as me, dude,
Yeah. You didn't tell me this.
I didn't tell you this?
He's like, can I go watch you talk,
can
Mr.
I go?
Johnson?
Yes, and I felt bad. I said, look.
Eyes down, look at the floor.
They took it the wrong way.
Down, ass up.
That's the way
Do
I
not
like
look
to
at
fuck.
Mr. Johnson. Do not address Mr. Johnson.
But I'm like, my point was, I'm like, these guys don't know if me and Ming had something planned or
Right,
whatever.
exactly.
Just ask.
Sure.
So I can say no.
So I can shoot it down. A modicum of respect. So Rob Bruce says, do you mind if I go? And I'm like, of course not. Of course. So we walk up to the panel, and the goddamn guy walks on stage.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
Did he do it with you? Did you
couldn't
throw him
believe
off?
it. He goes up there, and I'm like, I can't believe this motherfucker is standing on stage right now. But I'm like, all right, well,
It's happening.
I'll roll with it.
Yeah.
It's happening. At one point, he does exactly what I knew he would do, which is he starts answering his phone while we're talking to people and answering questions. And I just turned to him. I said, I swear to Christ, you might think I'm fooling around. I said, cut this shit or I will have you thrown off this goddamn stage. And the
people are going, hot mic.
The room was totally silent. I didn't give a shit. No. I wasn't hiding it. And he didn't say anything after that and didn't do anything after that. Nice enough guy, but it's that kind of shit that this is the reason. This is exactly the reason, because it's not funny that you're answering a phone or like you went to we did a panel in Asbury Park. It was an hour and a half with 7 people on the panel. Yeah. And I'm like, it's too much time. Right around 45 minutes, I was like, okay, when we wrapping up? And they're like, oh, we're going till 11:30. I'm like, holy shit, it's 10:45. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to subject people to myself that long, let alone you guys.
When they do those panels in San Diego, the really big ones, how long do those usually last?
Not that long. And some of them go a little bit longer if they have some sort of screener attached to it. But
or if it's Kevin, who will talk 7 hours.
Right. Or if they have the freedom to just go. But because those panels roll over, too. That room is clearing out as they're filling in the next. I mean, people are leaving as people are coming in. So
Disney
about
policy.
an hour. About an hour.
Close it down, get them out, bring the next thing.
45 minutes to an hour. It really depends on what it is, but I don't think most of them go over an hour.
If our panels are going well, usually like somebody will give me the high sign, and I'll say, if it's going well, I'll say, well, who's on next, and then I'll make my determination as to whether or not I'm going to leave the stage.
Right.
Like when we were in Washington, it was Rudy Sarzo from Quiet Riot, who like he was the guy I was really looking forward to meeting, and so I deferred to Rudy because he's like insanely nice, like such a cool, quiet guy.
That's awesome. Yeah, the problem with San Diego, Eric, and you'll learn because you haven't been there. San Diego is too big.
Yeah,
for San Diego. Like I feel like San Diego outgrew its capacity 7 or 8 years ago, probably.
Well, they kept trying to move it, right? Did they want to move it to a bigger facility?
Yeah, they wanted to move it. They wanted to move it outside of San Diego. They were talks about it for
Anaheim?
a while. No, they wanted to move it to Vegas.
Did you go last year?
I did not go last year.
It was
no.
all anybody was talking about how it was the last year.
It was the last year.
And then I didn't. They kept it,
right?
And I just found out that the restrictions now that the con has put up, they have the city in like a Darth Vader death grip now.
That's what it is.
Where they basically run the city for 4 days. It's crazy.
Because the city, like 90% of their revenue happens in that week. Like a handful of days leading up to the con and easily the week after. That San Diego is about nothing but popular culture. Every single restaurant has a comic book sign in their window. Some of the restaurants change their names for that week, like to something themed from a TV show or something themed from a comic book. I remember when Eureka was still on Sci-Fi.
Dick Grayson's.
Yeah. Dick's is a good place. I actually like Dick's. But I remember when Eureka was still on Sci-Fi, one of the restaurants actually changed their name to like the big restaurant that was in that show. And
last year the Broken Yoke got taken over by it was the Impractical Jokers Cafe, and all the menus were Impractical Jokers. All the food was renamed after us and stuff like that. It's as it's grown too big for the con, they've had to find a way to work it. Like Conan O'Brien couldn't even get in the con a few years back, and they had that art gallery of his and stuff like that. But it makes for a great experience, though, doesn't it? Like to be walking down the street and you can drink at Quark's bar and shit like that. It's pretty cool.
It's awesome, and I actually find I started enjoying some of the stuff that was actually taking place outside of the main convention center. Like some of the stuff's in the Omni, for example, right across the way. Like they had some panels over there and some screens and stuff like that.
Parking lot that they make is great.
That stuff is really fun because you do get away from the crowd. I know you think that I'm joking when I say it, and you can attest to this, and you can attest to this. To go from one side of the floor to the other side of the floor at San Diego on Saturday could easily take you an hour and a half.
Look, I was doing research. There's a YouTube video where a guy says walking from one side to the other, and he just has his camera as he's trying to clear.
I
that
think
video was at least 25 minutes.
No, seriously, I think the longest it's ever taken me is almost an hour.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Last year I had to wear a Spider-Man mask, so I just could walk the con.
Right.
And because I was like, oh, now I'll just breeze around, like without having to take pictures. And I was like, it's no faster. It's insane. It's too much. And you got cosplay girls and wearing next to nothing, and then everybody wants pictures with them, and then you got to wait. You cramp.
I love the signs for the cosplay girls.
In the middle of the aisle.
Yeah.
Just because I'm wearing this does not give you permission to
cosplay is not consent.
Yes,
my friend.
That was all over New York Comic Con last year. Those signs.
You know what
they were there, but they were never as visible as they were last year.
You know what the sad part about that is that they have to put those fucking signs up.
Right.
That people think that it's okay.
People are very touchy-feely.
They grab the cosplay girls?
Like
it was becoming a problem.
Flat out,
especially some of those ones that are wearing the really obscure anime costumes where they're barely there's a lot of side boob or their ass is hanging out. They're getting fondled all over the place.
It became like a Japanese subway.
The one thing I liked about New York is that New York now has an area for cosplay photographs.
I thought you were going to say an area for feeling up.
Yeah, they have the
they call it LARPing.
It's called scores.
They have the gropey feely area. No, they actually have an area now set aside for photography and stuff like that. They try to discourage it on the floor a little bit. Last year,
it blocks all the flow of traffic.
Yeah, well, last year I had a booth at New York Comic Con last year, and at the booth directly next to me, it wasn't her booth, but it was, I think, her boyfriend's booth, but it was Jessica Negri, who's one of the really well-known cosplayers. And there were times where they were just hundreds of people in front of my booth just to get their photo with her. And so from us, that's kind of annoying. Like, she's a sweetheart and I had no problem with her, but from like working a booth standpoint, it's like, get the fuck away from my booth.
But don't you
know
find
what I mean?
that strange? I actually have kind of an issue with cosplayers who have booths and take pictures and stuff, because it's almost universally like young boys who are doing exactly what your Comic-Con is trying to dissuade, which is like kind of rub up against them for $15 and take a picture. And to me, I'm just like, look, I know it takes talent to make a costume.
Sure.
But you are doing the exact same goddamn thing that my 9-year-old niece does on Halloween. You're dressing up, and that's it. Why would somebody
Dressing up
take
sexy.
a picture with you?
Right.
Yeah, I dress. Yeah, I give her the Wonder. What'd you say? The Wonder Girl like boob panel or whatever.
Power Girl, yeah.
Her. I just don't understand it. It doesn't make sense.
I guess there's just the infatuation with the good looking girls and then and look, there is a certain art form to it. You're right. I mean, there's a skill set. There are some people who buy their costumes, there's some people who make their costumes, and I give a lot of credit to the people who make their costumes that look like really accurate and they're really well put together. But I agree with you. At some point in time, it's like,
Everybody's a guest.
right? It's everybody's a
guest,
cosplayer
yeah.
at some point in time, and I think it starts to hurt. It doesn't hurt the people that are paying to go to the con. It hurts the people that are working the con in a weird way. And that's the part that's kind of frustrating, I think.
There's this one cosplayer, Anna Mia, and she actually, she came out against people that were going on like the GoFundMe, Kickstarter type sites, like fund my trip to this con.
Right.
And she took shit for it. But I agree with her.
Absolutely.
It's like, I can't stand those Kickstarter projects that are like, give my wife the honeymoon she deserves.
Yeah.
Hey, I haven't had a vacation in years. Hey, I need to move. It's like, for fuck's sake, man.
Who was the guy?
Like,
Was it
it's
last year?
cyberbegging.
He did egg salad. You remember that guy? He raised like $2 million for egg salad. He wanted to make an egg salad
That guy's
sandwich.
a genius as far as I'm concerned.
Is he a genius or is everyone else an idiot?
No, I think it's everyone else is an idiot.
Yeah, they're like, I know what I'll do. I'll give him money for egg salad. Next thing you know, you made a guy a millionaire.
Yeah, it's
There's a
ridiculous.
sucker born every minute, bro. And that's the guy that sucked them in.
When I get to San Diego, will they? Because I know all the attractions and the panels and everything go Thursday through Sunday.
They go Wednesday night through Sunday.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Is there anything Wednesday?
Absolutely.
As far as you can go in and just shop.
Wednesday night is preview night. As again, you can speak to
We
this.
used to work the booths there, yeah.
Right. So Wednesday night is preview night, and it used to be preview night was less crowded than Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you could actually. I used to use Wednesday night to go and get all my exclusives.
Right.
I would go to Hasbro, Mattel.
That's
and
exactly
NECA
what I want to get off the
Mezco.
plane, throw everything in the hotel, and go shopping.
Right. So I haven't been there in 2 years now. Mostly because I've almost kind of refused to go at this point because it's just stopped being fun to a certain degree. But the last time I was there, Wednesday was as busy as like Saturday or Friday at least. I mean, it's insanity.
It's sold out every day. Sold out
every day.
Every day sold out, which means the same amount of people are going through there every day now.
I think that would be the biggest tip, that if you want to go shopping, use your ability to be in there sooner than everyone else and stay later than everyone else. You know how they shuffle out the attendees? And then you can actually get to booths and stuff.
Here's the trick. Your press, and they don't, unfortunately, treat press much better than everybody else. What you need to do is you need to find someone who's an exhibitor who can get you in with them. That's the key.
I have two.
That's seriously, that's the key. Like some friends of the show that we know.
No names. Yeah.
That's the key. That's the key to success, is knowing an exhibitor and getting an exhibitor badge and getting on the floor early.
Right.
So. Yeah, you don't even have to spell it out. I know exactly who you're talking about.
I know you do, but I'm just showing them.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. So, they've talked about that, about coming in and using, I think the term was pavilion, which was a fun word to see, to hear and see what they do on the floor.
But here's the problem you're going to have. You're going to find that some people, like I think Hasbro might still do it. Some people do not sell exclusives to exhibitors. Or they won't sell exclusives to exhibitors early. They still make you wait in the cattle call. So you're going to have to kind of feel it out when you get there.
Like Kid Robot used to do.
Yeah, I don't know what Kid Robot's policies are now.
You would
but
have
it's changed now. But
Hasbro. You'd have to have an inside
exactly.
guy.
I don't approve of that. What happened to the old one hand washing the other? This is the ethic of the world.
You show up, Tuesday morning, you give the stock boy $20, let me go through the Hot Wheels, find the treasure
There
hunters.
used to be a little bit of respect. Like, I understand you're not going to be come here because you're an exhibitor working your booth, so I don't have a problem selling to you. But so
I'm a big fan of Chicago rules, if you know what I mean. I like that stuff. Give me this.
You're going to feel it out. You're going to have quite the experience.
Because it's going to be, Wednesday seems to be, from what I'm reading of the schedule, is going to be my only night to really go and do that. Because Thursday, Friday, super busy getting interviews and getting stuff together, because Friday for San Diego will be the live show. And then Saturday is all the really big presentations as far as panels and the major A-list stars that are actually going to be there for interviews to do Entertainment Weekly, or if we get on that list or something like that, that's on Saturday. So that day's going to be busy.
I told you I'd give you an interview already, dude. I don't know. When you say A-list, I'm assuming you're talking about me.
Well, we still have to go through your quote people.
Yeah.
Don't sell Miami short, though.
No, I'm not.
Miami's a good time, man.
I'm not selling Miami short at all by any means. I'm just saying San Diego is the place where all these the movie companies and the TV companies now are doing their teasers for stuff that's a year or 2 years out, and so those are the ones you got to jump on as far as getting the interviews with them and getting it early.
You know what San Diego is really good for? The after parties. That's what you have to get into some of the parties.
Okay, bringing up the parties there. There's a bunch of cool themed parties that I've already been told about as far as Miami goes.
Right.
And I'll go check them out, but do you really need to go to those?
You want to.
Okay,
you do want to.
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, the good thing about parties, no matter which convention I've attended in the past, parties always have free food, normally free booze. So that's a bonus, because that's a meal you don't have to buy that day. And second of all, depending on who the party is, you have a really good time. In San Diego, especially, but Miami, I'm sure too. You get celebrities that show up at the parties, and you actually get a little bit of time with people. I mean, some of the best experiences I've had with celebrities that I've wanted to meet have actually been at the after parties as opposed to on the con floor.
100%.
Yeah. So, but that's the key, man. Go to some of the parties. Any con you go to, if there's an after party, go to the parties. That's the fun.
Let's go under the assumption that I'll be invited to some of these parties.
Sure.
And if I am, then yes, I will definitely go to them.
As a publicist, right?
Yeah, well,
come on now. But
you mean like AMC as a publicist?
But how many people from Sirius are going? Like,
a handful from here, and by handful I mean like handful, and Entertainment Weekly, which also has their radio show here at SiriusXM. But they're getting the majority of all the movie stars and the TV stars and everybody coming in and out are going to go pretty much filtered through EW. Because they just have that kind of power.
They do a huge party every year. I think they did one on like a battleship last year or something like that. EW does a big one.
Nerdist, I think, probably has a party, so you should check out that one. And you probably have some people.
I think
you can
we're
reach out
talking to
that.
Chris.
Yeah,
I think Roland was talking with him. I think it looks pretty good that we're going to have Chris on.
And actually, don't brush off some of the toy company parties, like Gentle Giant. I don't know if they still have it, but Gentle Giant used to have a great party. Actually, Gentle Giant is one of the best ones I've ever been to as far as like people I met. I think I met Bruce Campbell, Zachary Quinto, Joss Whedon, Bruce Campbell, and those were all guys. At Gentle Giant.
Did the rounds, came right back.
Yeah. So check
no
out.
No one's here. I'll talk to you.
He just kept going back.
Just kept going. But seriously, that's where you're going to have a lot of fun as the parties.
The best celebrity I ever saw there. You meet a ton of them. You can't avoid them. But the best one I ever saw was Wesley Snipes. It was at the Superman 75th anniversary party, and for whatever reason, nobody was talking to Wesley Snipes, and I saw the decline. He walked into the party.
Is this pre or post?
No, this is last year.
Okay.
So he walked in, and he's like, "Yo, Blade's here, like Wesley Snipes here," blah, blah. And then like nobody cared.
Really, people like tax evader.
People just didn't care. So then I just saw him like in the middle of the party start dancing by himself, and then with a surprising lack of like rhythm for what you would think Wesley Snipes would have, and then just sort of shuffled off to the side.
Really, just like danced
and then he was
away.
just dancing in the corner by himself.
And then
we were
danced
like,
out the
"Holy
door."
shit, it's Wesley Snipes!" No, he didn't dance out the door. He stood there and danced the whole time. And we're like, "How fucking sad is that? Blade's dancing by himself."
Should I go dance with him?
Was he dancing like the little midget in Twin Peaks?
Yeah, kinda. He was just like, it was. We would die.
You like is coming back in style.
Jesus.
He had a Kangol hat on backwards. I'm dead serious. We were fascinated by by them. We were fascinated.
Okay, so from what I'm gathering here, parties are definitely good, not just for the atmosphere, and the food and beverage bill will definitely decrease if you get to go to some of these things. Try to go on Wednesdays for the preview night so you can do all your shopping.
Right.
What else am I missing here? Oh, be very specific as to what your needs are for the promoter.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to be specific.
Well, they're hectic, too.
Just put in your contract, no Rob Bruce.
And you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very hectic, the promoters, so they don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
Right.
They probably appreciate the direct...
I think the best party that I have ever been to at a con was in Dallas. A young Quinn and myself, back in our drinking days, sort of stumbled into an all-black debutante ball. An entire ballroom of, like, they were coming out, like, as debutantes. Hundreds and hundreds of people
in Southern-style dresses and tuxedos with white gloves and stuff like that. It was really like a blast from the past.
And we walked in, and nobody stopped us, and we just went out onto the floor and started dancing.
Putting on the Ritz.
Drunk out of our minds.
Yeah, and then
the girls loved it.
We started getting the evil eye from the dudes. They did not like it, but it didn't deter us.
The dance floor cleared out.
Yeah.
The dance floor cleared out. Eventually, it was just me and Bryan on the dance floor.
Wesley
like
Snipes.
two anti-Wesley Snipes. Yeah. It was so fun until they grew tired of us.
Yeah. That was a good one though.
So Bryan Quinn will be out there in San Diego. Impractical Jokers are all going to be out there?
Yeah, we'll be out there. We have a show Friday night at one of the theaters in San Diego that just went on sale. We try and do a Comic-Con show every year.
So I think we're on at 4:00 in the afternoon. So would you have enough time to come by?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, our show's not till 7 or 8. I'll definitely come by, without doubt. But we have one of those pop-up stores that you were talking about, so we're going to be very active there.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I think we're hosting a party too, or something like that. I don't know.
Can I come to the party?
You're in, buddy.
Nice.
You don't even need a publicist. You're in.
You're on the
right.
list.
Yeah.
One party
It
down.
won't be that great. It'll be like me dancing.
I get to
in the
eat
corner with a tank
Friday.
Yeah.
Brian Johnson, you going to be on San Diego?
Ironically, the comic book men cannot get it together enough to shoot at San Diego.
How is that possible?
There's so many rules and restrictions.
Yeah.
Like the main one is like the fire marshal is like a big pain in the balls. And they also are like, at any moment, for any reason, we can shut you down. So to fly out the entire crew, and Walt won't fly, so to bus a Walt Flanagan all the way to San Diego just to be like, no, and turn right around again. Yeah, they're like, forget it. Like they tried like I think 2 or 3 times and just gave up. They're like, forget it.
You guys should host like a party or something.
We
An
should,
event.
yeah.
And you're beyond coming out with me just to hang out, right? You won't do that.
Yeah, well, we'll be shooting anyway at that time.
It's like, I see you all the time.
Yeah.
I'm going to fly across the country to be like, oh, hey, Q.
So will you be in Miami too, or no?
No, I'm actually going to be in Orlando at the Walker Stalker Con with Ming. I'm going down to Orlando with my girlfriend and the kid, and then I think it's the whatever that weekend is, the 28th and 29th, somewhere around there.
Right.
Walker Stalker in Orlando.
Nice.
Ming and I will be there.
I gotta get to a con this summer.
Yeah, well, you got a busy summer. He's going to London.
I'm not going to San Diego because I'm going to be in London, so I'm not too upset
not a
by
bad
that.
thing.
No,
It's
I'm not upset about it. Huh?
Why are you going to London?
I have family there.
Oh, all right.
So I only get to see them every couple of years, and they just had a new kid, and so it's a good time to go and traipse around and check it out. And I have a lot of friends over there too.
All right,
so
stop
I'll get to see
bragging.
people. All right, just he asked. I'm not going to a con. I would rather have gone 2 weeks ago. I would rather have gone 2 weeks ago to London Comic Con or whatever the hell that con is out there.
Bring me some exclusive Doctor Who stuff.
I'll do my bestest. I know a guy that runs a store, so I'll ask him to.
Because that's one of the trips for San Diego. Go over to Titan Vinyl.
Sure.
And see what their exclusive is this year.
Of course. You got to go over to Funko.
I'm definitely going to go over to Funko and see if Kid Robot's doing any new Simpsons stuff.
I know Kid Robot's doing stuff. I don't know if it's Simpsons stuff. I'll have some. I'll try to get some updates for you as far as exclusives go for next week.
Okay. So we'll go through all of that. We are running out of time here on the program. Just want to remind everybody, next week we go to 3 hours, so we'll have more time to not cover a tenth of what we've written down on these prep sheets here.
Indeed.
Not even one phone call, man. Not even the truck driver
Didn't
today.
need them.
Forgot them. Who needs them?
It's always appreciated, but we just didn't get to them.
It happens.
And look at all the stuff I had to give away. I got to clean out all the stuff in my desk.
I was gonna say.
We got Conan the Barbarian on Blu-ray.
I'll take it.
We got.
What else you got?
Here you go.
All right, sweet.
Brian, would you like one?
Yeah, why not?
There you go.
Now we're talking.
And let's see, what is this one here?
What I'm watching tonight.
I guess this is Arnold's version of The Expendables, Sabotage.
Wasn't he in the Expendables? though?
Yes, but he started his own.
Oh, all right.
But wait, I never even heard of that.
And neither did I.
Well, here you go.
All right, I'm in. All
And it
right.
comes with a digital copy. Brian,
Yeah, why not?
there you go.
Nice.
Throwing things around, and I'm sure you.
Sabotage.
Oh, I
I don't
did
think
hear
you want
this.
50 Shades of Grey, so we'll put that over here.
Well, hold on. I do want that actually.
All right, there you go.
All right.
That one you can hold on.
And
this is
what about the
sweet.
boy next door, Jennifer Lopez?
Oh, do you see her yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, there you go.
I'm in. All right, this is sweet.
Look, this made your trip worthwhile, if nothing
No,
else.
you gentlemen made my trip worthwhile. This is all just a
Yeah,
bonus.
this is
Do you
fun.
just get free Blu-rays to give away?
Well, we got to give them away, you know,
Just
and
give some
plug
away.
everything.
This is cool.
So Brian Johnson walks out of here a happy man. Brian Quinn walks out of here a happy man.
This is great.
With all this stuff, and I still got seasons of WKRP and Hey Dude and Batman and all that stuff that we got to clear out before we go to the cons.
We have to talk about Salute Your Shorts next week.
Yes, we do. The reunion.
Yeah, and that Donkey Lips is an absolute nutter that went on a tear about chemtrails.
Yes, he's huge. Let's get to the plugs here. Let's go, Brian Johnson.
At Tell Him Steve Dave, I guess, on Twitter. That's it.
And tell him Steve Dave on iTunes. Subscribe to that.
Yes.
Brian Quinn.
At BQ Quinn on Twitter. Impractical Jokers comes back in July. I guess that's about it for now.
All right. Tell him Steve Dave also subscribe to on iTunes. Matt.
At GeekStuffOG on Twitter and Instagram. And, of course, if you want more geeky chatter, you can check out the podcast. I'm part of BKGeekStuff.com. Every Thursday, new episodes go up.
Next week, 3 hours, E-Rock Radio on Twitter and Instagram. Rob Delaney, Jeanette McCurdy, Brian Pichet will be back. That's about it. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next week. And until next time, be seeing ya.
And that's all the time we have. Follow the guys on Twitter and Instagram at eRock Radio and at GeekStuffOG. eRock Radio and at GeekStuffOG. The show should be back next week, right here on OP Radio.